how do you feel just like putting yourself in the middle of so much over the course of a full game like that?
It's part of my resume, you know, just making an impact on both sides in any way that I can. So, I mean, that stat right there was crazy, a flagrant, a tech, but it's part of the game, and you know, my teammates trust me enough to go out there and you know, impact the game the way I do.
Do opponents feel that too? Like, did you hear any kind of chat or feedback because you just are in the way?
Yeah, I mean, you hear it all the time. You know, guys would rather play with me than against me. So that's you know, that's compliment to my game. You know, what I bring to this table, the energy, and the way that I work.
If you're when they have so many stoppage in the game, I think it was 66 fouls, 84 free throws.
I think the game took 3 hours in regulation. It's crazy, right?
Right. And how do you maintain just making sure you keep the pace right, you don't get out of sorts, you
just stick to the game plan, you know. You stick to the game plan and you let your instincts do what they do best. And, you know, we have a great group of guys who IQ when it comes to basketball is really good, and we trust one another, and we continue to stay on our course and listen to coach and the game plan and follow it all the way through.
Obviously, you're known for your basketball IQ, the play late where you stepped on the line. Did you even what was your reaction when you found out from the ref that was the call?
I couldn't believe it. I mean, I think when I released the ball, they said I stepped over. I'm like, I mean, we see the play all the time where a guy gets the ball out quick and his leg is like this, and he's still over inbounds, and he throws the ball in. There's no call, but to have that call at the end of the game, 1.2, we got a guy wide open. All he do is catch ball, game's over. It's kind of crazy, but as a 12-year vet, I can't make that mistake. I can't even put the call or the ball in their hands to have that call called against us. So I take full ownership of it. My teammates understand. They're going to joke with me. They're going to let me hear about it, but it'll never happen again.
You've been around this league long enough to understand that chemistry, camaraderie can take some time. What's impressed you most about the connectivity you guys have found early?
Really just how quick we were able to connect. You know, we had a lot of guys, you know, unlike other teams where we didn't have a lot of guys here in town in the summer working out. We had kind of sprinkled everywhere. Damn, DA, can I talk? Man, you all loud. Sorry, guys. Big five over there, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't have that luxury. So for us to be able to come out the way we have with the chemistry, being able to trust one another the way we are, that means a lot. And I think that right there is the biggest thing that we take from that.
DeAndre, a game that took nearly 3 hours, came down to the final second. What did this one take from you guys?
Togetherness, not getting deflated by, you know, the environment and the concept that was thrown at us. Calls wasn't going our way, but you know, we stayed together, and you know, that's the main thing. You know, being in tough games and games not going your way, especially when you're at home, is just, you know, you just got to come together and just really stay solid. And you know, the game went in favor for us. You know, staying solid, and you know, we stopped the fouling down the stretch a little bit, and you know, it was a free throw type of game. You know, and you know, that's what it comes down to when you have two great teams playing against each other.
When it comes to that level of connectivity amongst this team, though early in the season, no matter who's out there, who's not out there, why have you guys been able to find that success early?
I'll give my hats off to JJ. JJ and the staff just been pushing us. Regardless who's out there, they've been doing it since I got here. From training camp, from the months I've been in the summer in the gym, he's been the same guy. And, you know, he's just been every day just drilling it in our heads, you know, having that championship mentality, championship shape, championship communication. And, you know, that's our motto, and that's what we've been going by. And it's super contagious. You know, the guys who are out, they work their way up to come back and play, come in the lineup, and it's like they never left.
When you guys are not shooting it great as a collective, how much confidence does it give you that you can basically win the game on the defensive end?
It gives a lot of confidence because we're not really dependent on our offense. You know, JJ really wants us to have our defense, you know, create our offense, and you know, that's what you see in glimpses of us, you know, in Spurs having our runs and, you know, getting stops and, you know, crowd getting into it. That really gave us that boost as well.
At shoot-around this morning, you said you didn't really want to overemphasize any game other than the other, right? But
yeah.
Clearly, pregame, you had some pep in your step, and the building was feeling it.
I wasn't paying attention. That's every game. That's every game. I'd be dancing and all of that.
Okay, well, how about this then? The building was here to celebrate the Dodgers. You guys get to end a homestand before you go on a long road trip. all those factors considered, like, how does this feel for a group win to get this? You're 7-2 to start the season.
I ain't gonna lie. Seeing the Dodgers, the champions, walk in here, they put a little pressure on me. I was a little nervous. I was like, dang, just actually seeing them in person. I've been watching them through a glass, all season. But yeah, it was definitely some pressure, and the crowd was into it. So it was definitely something to put on for the fans, and leave them home happy.
You got that alley-oop in the third quarter when I think y'all were down, close to double digits. That started to turn the game around. Like, what's it like for you to get down the floor, finish that play, force timeouts, and have them, figure out what's happening with y'all?
Piggybacking off our defense. That was a defensive stop, and Luka threw the ball in. I just ran with him, honestly, and it was a great pass by him. But that's mainly our point. It was 1 through 5, and we wanted to turn them over. We got a lot of calls, but it eventually worked out in our favor, playing physical and playing in that type of game, and making it a free throw game as well.
You weren't in foul trouble. Like, there was 3 dudes on the other team fouled out, 3 dudes on your team who had 5 fouls. How did you, starting center, play so well defensively against Wemby?
Man, that's not 1 through 5, man. That's not 1 through 5, man. That's not 1 through 5. That's something I've been wanting to show, especially to my coaching staff as well. And they trust me, to really go out there and guard 1 or 2 dribbles, before my help come. And yeah, I'll be good. I'll be comfortable out there. I know my help coming, so I'm straight.
Hey, Rui, JJ said that he and the coaching staff talk sometimes where it seems like you might not have touched the ball for 8 minutes of game time and 30 minutes, but then
you guys see that? Oh, okay.
They see, but then you get it and you're still able to lock in and hit a shot, which seems like it could be difficult just to not have a rhythm like that and just find it. How?
I think for me as just being around here 3-4 years, whatever, 3 seasons or 4 seasons, I'm trying to accept my role. I know I'm not a ball handler. This is where I came here and start working on my threes. Start working on those. Making the shots without doing all the kind of stuff, the dribbling and all that. Those are the kind of stuff. I'm good at it, and sometimes you don't get the ball, but you always have to be ready. Somehow, mentally I have to be kind of ready for the moments. Like that when I made the shot, I didn't touch the ball at all. The second half, and the first time I touched it, so. But that's, I think, coming with my patience and my, mindset to be ready for that moment. Yeah.
What's it like playing with Luka when the team is down? He's not even having his best night. But JJ felt like his demeanor kind of gave you guys a chance in the second half, and maybe some of his teammates took cues from it. That competitive side kept going, even though it didn't necessarily look it was going your guys' way.
Yeah, we talk about. I'm not gonna. We said that during the halftime too. We tired. We exhausted right now because of the schedule. We had a lot of back-to-back away games. We're coming home 3 a.m. It's been tough, but we talk about. We have to now. This is time for us to get together and more. We have to trust each other more, and we have to play together. And that's what we did in the second half. And we trying to, talk to each other more and trying to get going each other. So that's what we did, and we got this dub. So yeah, it was a great win.
Really defensively, what was kind of the plan against Wemby, and how do you feel like you guys executed as a team?
And it was good, yeah. Just trying to be physical, from a half court. Once we get to the, his shooting range, we're trying to be more aggressive and on that, even off the ball, I was trying to, obviously you can see he's way taller than me, so I have to get on the, lower, trying to push him, trying to be more physical. And I think as a team we did a good job today. We did that, and we made him in the foul trouble, which was good. That was good, and I got the charges. So yeah, that was a great one too.
Rui, you guys have played almost half your games without Luka. Miss Austin for a couple games. Brown hasn't played. You guys, I think, are still around top 6 offensively. What has enabled you guys to be so as good as you guys are offensively, even with all the lineups changing, rotations changing, and all the changes you guys have had?
Just staying ready. Everybody's ready. Whoever get on the call, everybody's ready for the whatever the the roles they have, and we talk about we had, I think I said a couple times, but we had a very good training camp this year, so we have the moment of like who's no matter who's on the court, everybody's trying to do their jobs and trying to be ready, stay ready, and that with a different rotation and starting lineup, it's a different rhythm, of course, but. We as a team, I think our chemistry is very high right now. So that's why we've been playing good.
Hey Rui, it's early, but have you noticed a different level of intensity from Luka on the defensive end this season?
It's a Luka.
Mm-hmm.
Luka.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. No, yeah, he's trying to be more vocal. Compared to last year. I can see the vocal on the defense. He's trying to talk through. He's trying to be more physical. More aggressive. That's why he got this. He almost fouled out, literally. I never seen him like that, but he's trying to be more aggressive, and that's what we need from him too, and he's taking it. So yeah, it's been great.
Tonight, JJ mentioned that the word that he mentioned throughout the game was kind of resiliency. Can you describe for the fans watching tonight and really around the world what it's been like to go to battle each night with these guys?
It's been fun. I think we're just being around with these guys, on the court, off the court. We having fun right now. I think. We enjoying playing hard every night, every game. Even though with the schedule, it's been tough, but we trying to help each other, try to compete every night. That's why we in this position right now. So we gotta keep building. We gotta keep building. It's just the beginning of the season right now. So we just gotta. We still it's gonna be up and down the whole season maybe, but I think we gotta stick like we've been doing.
Rui, from the opening tip, it looked like Ayton was as sharp as ever. What did you see from him tonight on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I think, playing against him, Wemby is, it's not normal, so, but he was trying to be aggressive, on both ends. I think he did a great job on that, being more physical and trying to get his touch and everything. So, yeah, he did great.
Rui, speaking to the chemistry of this team so far, JJ said you guys were doing like Pecha Kucha. What is that? And how has it helped you guys?
Apparently, it's from Japan. I didn't even know that. He knows all the.
Not from Japan, like you.
I don't know. He knows all the Japanese stuff more than me. So it was interesting. But yeah, he's just like you have to pick you have to get 5 pictures, and each slide you have a 20 seconds kind of explain how you start basketball. Who's your guy that changed your life. Those kind of stuff, and it kind of. Get to know each other. It's kind of get deep, deeper. So, but it's been great. Get to know each other, trying to learn each other. That's a very important thing. For us. This is the team sports, and then we have a couple new guys too. So, I think it's good. Yeah, I think we did like 5 players right now, 5, 6 players with the 6 coaches. So, the coaches is doing too. So, yeah, it's been great.
Hey Rui, so can you tell me about like playing against, especially defense-wise, against Wemby, like that type of player, where it's like way taller than you, and then like something like that. Like, what's your technique about playing against them?
It just means being physical, and he has to kind of, you can't block the shot. So kind of you have to distract in a different way. Being physical, getting his body, those kind of those kind of stuff help. And for me, I think that's what I did today. And he was struggling. He made all the free throws and stuff. But yeah, I think it was tough for him.
お疲れ様です、はい、開幕からここまで選手がレブロンがいなかったりルカがいなかったりオースティンがいなかったりっていう中でこの成績っていうことでここまででチームについて学んだことこのチームはどんなチームっていうのと思いますか？
そうですね、コート外では自分たちはすごい性格も豊かで面白い人たちが多いなと思いますし、その中でチームのバスケのところでもその自分たちのその強みを生かしながら戦えてるんじゃないかなと思うので、それを続けていきたいなと思います。
I'm sorry, two questions. I'm sorry. いや、すみません、2つ。チャージングっていうのはキャリア初めてでしょうか。その時に今日のチャージングことをそれもちょっと話していただけますか。
そうですね。自分でも今日はボールタッチが後半はあまりもらえなかったので何かインパクトを持たそうと思ってディフェンスで頑張ってたのでそのところでチャンスを持ってウェンビーもすごいアグレッシブにやろうとしたのでそこをついてやりましたね。
初めてですよかね。初めてですかね。
今日は初めてです。今年は。
はい、あとそれと今日ドジャースの選手が来てましたけれども、今日もレイカーズ自体も粘り強い勝利を挙げましたが、ドジャースの第7戦までの戦いぶりを見てどのように思われましたか？
そうですね、自分でもこうやって日本人としてこう野球でバスケでも僕はバスケやってるんですけど、こう野球でこうやって日本人が3人集まってこうやって大きな舞台で戦って、こういう大きなマーケット LA っていうところでこうやって優勝できるってことはすごい僕としても嬉しいですし、僕ももっと頑張ろうと思うようになりましたし、こうパレードとか見てても僕らがこう優勝した時とかもすごいことになるんじゃないかなと思うので、それを想像しながら試合を見てたので、僕もすごい勇気づけられて、もっと頑張ろうと思いました。
2 blocks, a couple of your teammates.
Finally. That's the only good thing I did today.
Well, some of the shots weren't going in, but for real though, defensively, what has your focus level been this year? Where do you feel like you've been able to contribute on the ball, off the ball, and how do you feel like that's been essential to the team?
I mean, first of all, just communication. Getting the people in the right spot. A lot of times I'm low man, so I gotta communicate that. I gotta put people in their spots. But then just the activity. I think it's better. I'm more focused, and just gotta keep going like that. Stop falling.
You guys had another challenge tonight. 3 games in 4 nights. Austin can't play. You figure out a way to get it done in the second half, even falling down double digits in the third quarter. You guys are 7-2, about to head out on this road trip. Like, what's your feeling about this group at this stage?
The feeling is I'm enjoying very much playing with these guys. Like you say, our AR can't play. We're still missing Braun. So this team has a big potential. But everybody steps on court and gives maximum, man. Everybody. So it's very enjoyable to play.
Luka, JJ was talking about like the chemistry of this team and especially the way it's kind of built so quickly. And then he mentioned something about Pecha Kucha. Did you do yours yet? Like, what did you share on yours? And why is that helpful for you guys?
I don't know if it's helpful. That's in JJ's mind. I didn't mind. It was probably the worst one. We had some good ones. I think the coaches do a better job than the players. They know how to talk. But we had some good ones. DA went today, was good. Yeah, I didn't do a good job, probably. You should ask JJ. I don't know what his honest opinion is about my Pecha Kucha.
Yesterday, somebody asked Victor about playing you, and I have the quote here in front of me, but he said that you're one of the hardest players to scout because you understand and master the game more than anyone else. I'm just curious, kind of, he's, I believe, going to turn 22 in January. What's it like playing against him now, and what do you think it's going to be like playing against him as he understands and masters the game?
Yeah, I mean, I already think he did, but obviously, what's this, his 3rd year in the NBA, and he's playing at MVP level, which is insane. So, I have much respect for him, much love, and I really enjoy these games, Playing against him, it's very tough. Guarding him and going against him in offense is very tough. But I think he's going to improve more. So it's always fun to play against guys like that, and I have so much respect for Wemby.
Luka, what have you made to Rui's star of the season? And just JJ mentioned to us that he can go significant stretches of time without touching the ball, but still come up with a big 3 like he did earlier today, or even the charge. Like, what have you made of his starts of the season?
Yeah, he told me I didn't pass him the ball today, so I got to do that more. I see. No, jokes aside, I think he's been amazing. Just staying ready in the moment, and he's a great guy too. So that kind of people you want to have on your team, and the stars he's having, it's very underrated, and we need him to keep going.
Hey, Luka. I think during preseason you talked about how having Marcus join the team was going to help you on defense. How does his defense impact the team and inspire your defense personally?
I mean, first of all, is the energy on defensive end. He does some things I never seen in my life, like how he dives for the ball or something else. But then on the other hand, it's his leadership and his communication on defense. It's been everything for us. I mean, he brings the energy that I didn't know. So him being on my team, on our team, it's unbelievable.
So I was going to ask you a question about the game, but now I got to follow up on her question. Give us, what are a couple slides that you had in your Pecha Kucha?
I don't remember. It's where I'm from.
Okay.
First is where I'm from, so Slovenia. And then my home court, when I redo it, just spend a lot of time. So I'm doing the Pecha Kucha again.
Just a little bit.
Second one was, second one? I don't know what was second one. Third one is person or thing that changed your life, so I put my daughter in there, which was pretty easy to put. Fourth one, you don't know what was it? Fourth one. I think it was favorite basketball moment. I think I put winning gold medal with my national team. And then fifth was, dealer's choice. I put all my cars, because I love cars. So they say I flexed, but I didn't really. It's my hobby, so I like those things.
What was the first car? What did you decide? You must have had to reorder a few times.
I didn't. I don't remember which was the first one. I just put pictures.
So when I was talking to people heading into the season about sort of your leadership style, they said you're more of like a lead by example kind of guy. You're obviously like on the more quiet side, but I feel like at least just as an objective observer, you've been a little more vocal recently. Is that intentional? And I guess what have you noticed about yourself and your own growth as a leader this year?
Oh yeah, it's definitely more vocal too. Just trying to help the guys. But I think the leadership, it shouldn't be just one player, It should be more players, and I think we have that, Everybody talks a lot of times, so I feel like everybody's on the same page. So leadership comes from a lot of players.
Luka, so you had 5 fouls in this game. This game had 66 fouls in total. Like, do you enjoy playing in
sleep?
Do you enjoy playing in a game? Like, what's it like playing in a game with a whistle like every 30 seconds, it feels like?
Yeah, it was a lot of whistles. We won the game, so I guess I like it. But, it stops a lot of game. Probably for the fans, it's not the best. But like I said, at the end of the game, we won, so I like that.
Hey, Luka, how much has defense been a point of emphasis for you heading into the season? And was that sparked by criticism, by talks with JJ, or maybe by your own evaluation of what you need to improve on?
I would just say myself. Obviously, there's always going to be critics. I get that, but I think it was more myself, I think do some more things to help my team win. So it was more of myself.
JJ's just so many fouls and stoppages each way. How did you guys kind of keep it centered and ultimately pull back in that fourth quarter?
It was a hard game, I think, for both teams to get into a rhythm. And this is not, again, this is just a reflection on the game. This is not a critique of the officials. I actually thought they were consistent tonight, which is all you can really ask for. I think both teams have gotten used to playing a certain way in terms of physicality, and the game was just officiated differently. And that's not to say it was officiated poorly or if it was officiated great. It was just officiated differently. And so I think both teams just kind of got stuck in that cycle of this is how we've been taught to guard off-ball screens, and there was just a lot of touch fouls tonight, and it kind of disrupted the flow, I think, for both teams. I would say you look at that game, and a few things stand out. Number one, we didn't have our best stuff. I told you at halftime. I didn't realize it until I woke up this morning. I wake up at 6:30 every morning. I woke up, and it was like a bus had hit me. And the cumulative effect of 3 of 4 nights getting into a city at 3:30 a.m. Thank you, schedulers, for that. But the effect of that has a toll. It has a toll on the body, and I thought we came out flat. So we responded during that second quarter. We got ourselves going. The other thing was we had stretches where we played really good, and we had stretches where we played really poor. Our group is so connected right now. We were able to get back together, and there was no
quitting. There was no splintering. It's a connected group. And the last thing I'll say is, I thought Rui made the 2 biggest plays of the game. Bo and I always joke, it's remarkable. He can go 8 minutes of a game, which sometimes can be 30 minutes of real time, not touch a basketball, literally not touch a ball, and then just bang a wide open 3. And he made that 3, which was huge. And then the charge on Wemby, I looked it up, his 8th charge of his entire career, and that, at least in my opinion, was the biggest one yet. So 2 big plays from Rui.
Looked like you threw all kinds of different looks at Wemby and saved a couple of the blitzes late. And there's a one where he kind of throws it in the lane and Luka gets it.
Yeah.
What was the strategy, just kind of when you were switching up coverages on him?
No, we were consistent with our coverage. We didn't change any coverage on Wemby. We changed a little bit of stuff on Castle at one point just to keep Luka away from that matchup where we potentially could have picked up his 6th foul. We mixed in some zone when Wemby was off the floor. We did fire one time, and Sohan hit the corner 3. But with Wemby, they did a really good job of making sure he caught at the elbow. Mitch is a great coach. He knows what we do on the side, and it's harder to double when you catch it either at the nail or the elbow. And that play that we got the turnover when Luka stole it and got fouled, that was in that mid-post area. So that's just our normal defense.
Luka only shot 33%, had some turnovers. It wasn't his sharpest game, but as you mentioned, you kind of found pockets where if the game got away from you, you could get it back. What did he show you tonight in the second half, particularly with obviously missing Austin again?
Yeah, I would say for him, and for the group, the word of the day is like resiliency. And I thought he showed that in the second half, playing through some foul trouble, playing through what quite honestly was a frustrating, abnormal offensive night for him. He stayed with it. I thought the focus level with both the referees, Rachel, and the focus with the referees, and just the focus with his teammates, and just getting on to the next play. And without Austin, without LeBron, his teammates are looking to him to kind of keep that resolve and keep that positive disposition, and he was able to do that throughout the game, which, look, that's an area of growth, and I thought he was great with that tonight.
So you touched on this a little bit. You've used 7 starting lineups already. I'm pretty sure this time last year you hadn't had to deviate yet from your opening night lineup. Like, how are you feeling about being able to scratch out wins with, different lineups literally every game at this point?
I told you guys you were obsessed with the wrong thing during preseason. I mean, this is just the reality of the NBA. There's going to be so many soft tissue injuries. This is the reality of the NBA. We're gonna start the group that makes sense for that night, and we're gonna hopefully find a way to win.
JJ, you talked about Luka and his resiliency. Like, defensively, I think 5 steals today, 2 blocks. Like, what did you see from him on that end of the floor, and also just throughout the season? Where do you feel like his defense is right now?
Yeah, there's been a couple games where he's gotten off to a slow start defensively, just in terms of his physicality and engagement. But overall, I think it's been really good. And to have 5 steals and 2 blocks on a night when you're in foul trouble, still staying active, still participating. Like, there was nothing. There was a couple times, he gets switched on to Wemby, gets switched on to Castle. He's in a closeout with Vassell. There wasn't Matador defense. He's still guarded, and that was huge. The reason we won the game, you can look at singular plays, you can look at whatever. The reason we won the game is because we guarded in the fourth quarter, and our fourth quarter defense was the number one reason we won the game.
You just mentioned the chemistry of the group and sort of the connectedness of them, and you also mentioned all the lineup changes back and forth. Those two things don't usually go together. This group feels, you just watch them on the floor, and they feel like such a unit, and they like each other so much. And we saw some of that last year, but we didn't see it all the time. Can you name what's different this year, or why from the very start they have felt like, they like playing with each other out there?
It doesn't always work this way, but sometimes the things you emphasize and the things that you make a daily priority becomes your team. And that doesn't always happen, but that was a priority for us coming into this season. And whether it's been some off-court activities, the Pecha Kucha. We're just constantly encouraging and empowering our guys to get connected. I believe that if you're connected off the floor, you're connected on the floor. So you need buy-in to that. So it's not. I'm not trying to take credit for my staff here. It's the guys on the team. They're bought into that, and they're bought into being a like a group, a together group, and it's fun to coach. It's awesome.
JJ, DeAndre's been playing really well the last couple of games. What impressed you the most about his play tonight?
I think he's played phenomenal all season. I mean, the one game you can point to where his numbers were down, where it was the game that he exited and didn't play in the second half. He's had a phenomenal start to the year. He has embraced his teammates. He's embraced his role. He's sacrificed in terms of just being a screener and getting his guys open. He's finding his spots. He's just in a really comfortable rhythm right now and is doing a lot of stuff. I pointed to the defense in the fourth quarter. He was a big part of that. The help side blocks, the one-on-one blocks. He's showing that he's a winning basketball player, and it's been really fun to see that blossom over the last whatever it is now, 3 weeks.
JJ, the competitive nature of Marcus Smart, particularly on the defensive end, that heat that he plays with, that competitiveness, is that where you guys want to ride defensively with like that type of intensity?
Yeah, we have to be a physical defense to be a good defense, just like most teams. And I like using the term like the quarterback of the defense out there. And last year for us, that was LeBron, and we're excited at some point to get LeBron back, because then we'll have two quarterbacks out there. Because Marcus has really embraced that for us, and it's been very, very impactful for that side of the floor. Thank you.